So this section of the park is partly inspired by Cambodia. It doesn't have an area name as yet, but it does have some very important features. It's definitely the weirdest section of the park. So if you didn't think that the previous sections were weird, you'll definitely think this section is weird. So to start with, you'll see that there's two kind of little squares, and they represent this weird little creature here, which was supposed to be, I think, like a lion-y type thing, but it just became this very weird gargoyle, which is like a pig meets lizard meets something with human teeth. It's weird. I know it's weird, but there's nothing I can do about it now. That's the design. So then you'll also see that behind it, you've got the temple, and the temple is based on Nom Bakeng, which is in Cambodia. It's got 6 floors, and at the top it has this special arch. So in the base of the floor, on the very first floor, when you walk in, you'll see a mixture of arcades and shops. So the arcades are inspired by all of the arcade buildings that I saw in Tokyo. There were many of them, and there are many people in them collecting tokens and stickers and all sorts of things. They're very popular, and I kind of liked how they just engaged with them and were so fully invested in them. I found that fascinating. So I felt like that would be a really great addition to the park. If you go up one floor, you'll be treated to a restaurant, which again is temple themed, and it will have very traditional kind of wooden carvings and things. So lots of snake imagery was what I was feeling for this restaurant. And there'll be a snake enclosure too. And the menu though will have options. So there'll be regular options, but there'll also be special. So if you've completed, let's say, the Trojan horse in the Greek section of the park, that will unlock additional special menu items that you can only get for unlocking that. And you'll be able to order everything digitally. So the floating table in the center will let you order any food that you wish, and it will be delivered to you, as and when. Then on the next floor up, there'll be a special meditation room. So if you need some quiet time after you've been through the mania of all the other areas of the park, you'll be able to go there. And that is these little lotuses. So these little lotus flowers, they'll have little massage booth bits in the back, so you can have a massage, you can have a cup of tea, listen to some serene music, or there'll be kind of beautiful ornate glass balls in the ceiling that you can look at, and they'll just move around as you're lying down. And then on the next floors up, you'll be able to take part in an escape room. So you and your X amount of people, and again, like other areas, you'll have a time frame based on how many of you there is. You'll have X amount of time to find the hidden treasure and exit, and your reward for exiting within the time frame is that you'll be able to take a selfie right at the top where you can see that little arch is there, and at the back of the temple, and you'll be able to drive around crazy streets, all kind of sort of very similar to Cambodian roads. So some leading nowhere, some leading everywhere, very windy and very sort of shrubby, and that will be fun. But unlike bumper cars, you won't have the experience of bumping into each other, but you will be able to ride them, and they'll be kind of almost tethered to the ground. And then, as you'll see again at the front and center, what separates the temple from the Tuk Tuk area is a little frog. So I've called him Tickle Frog. And how it works is if you tickle his belly, he'll give you a little fortune. As you can see there's a little slot there where the fortune will come out of. You'll also be able to, through the temple, go into what's called the Tickle Frog Trail. Now, originally this was going to be called Souvenir Trail, but I felt like we should, bow down to the Tickle Frog and make it all about him. So how it would work is upon entry, you would get yourself 5 or 10 or however many tokens, and you would use them along the Tickle Frog Trail. And at each point, there'll be the option to get different gifts or different souvenirs that are not only unique to the Tickle Trail, but also available for a very limited time period. And in order to get your gift or souvenir, you would have to put the token in, answer a trivia question, and if you're right, then you get your you get your prize. And obviously they'll have to be quite hard questions because we don't want to run out of prizes. And basically that will just be a fun way of getting people to walk through this section of the park, and also to have an unexpected experience as well. And embedded in the Tickle Trail will also be these little huts at the top. They'll all be kind of dragon or reptile shells, and the first one I've got here is a little dragon shell cafe. There'll also be a Tickle Frog shop, so merchandise just for the Tickle Frog, and another relaxing and refueling booths for people, so there'll just be little pods that people can lie down in and sleep in. So the reason why in this area there's a bit more resting is because I felt like the other areas of the park are very manic, there's a lot going on. So by the time you get to this point in the park, you're probably going to want to just regroup for a bit, or maybe this might be your final destination before you come back to the park for a second day. So that completes the Cambodian section of the park. Thank you for watching and listening. Please let me know what you think in the comments, and please take a look at my next video, which is about the 5th section of the park and is based on the Matariki constellation.